How the fucking people working there? Can't even breathe right past it for 5 fucking seconds. Let alone being there for 8 fucking hours for $8. Fuck that. Shit. How did I get to this bridge? What the heck? Nah, I'm joking. About to find out though. That was an awesome run. That was like almost 2 hours. Camera check. Alright, now we're in 40 minutes. Anyway, before this battery dies, I just want to say that this isn't my longest run by any means. I used to do this every day. But I'm still recovering after my 7 months of agony, working 60, 70 hours, still running in between, so anyway, this is Homestead. This is the waterfront. Now, if you look way over there, that's the Rankin Bridge, and if you watch this video long enough, you'll see instead of making a left at the Rankin, I made that right, and then I ran all the way around to this bridge, the high level bridge. Now I pretty much knew that my battery was going to die soon, which is why I stopped. Yeah, I could have kept going. I mean, this bridge is kind of at a very slight decline anyway, so it's really nothing unless you're coming up the high level. If you go up, then yes, it's an incline. It's not even called the high level bridge anymore. Anyway, there's Lowe's Theater right there. Place where everyone goes to pay to get brainwashed by all the propaganda and subliminal advertisements. I grew up in this area. Born and raised. About, well, if you considered this bridge to have streets, and every like beam like this is a street, I would have to say the next 20 streets up. But anyway, up that hill, straight up. I'm just happy I made it. No shirt, so even if I wanted to catch a bus back, I couldn't unless I borrowed someone's shirt. But I don't want to do that, so I'll have to venture back myself later on after I recover for a bit. Let the legs settle down, grab some water or something. I did bring money, so I have to go to a place where I'm able to either go in without a shirt or serve outside. There's an ice cream shop up the street, but it's way up the street. It's like from this bridge up, maybe 25, 26 streets. Which ain't a big deal for me, but it's the idea to go up there just to get something to drink. If my buddy's home, then yeah, shout out to Phil. If Phil's home, then we're good. But if not, he's at work, and that's where he works, at Lowe's Theater. There's hotels, many stores. This used to all be steel mill. This place opened up in 1999. I remember they were talking about the plans opening up. I was in elementary school, and I remember when it opened, the very first few stores was Target, Giant Eagle, Dick's, Best Buy. But now we have all these other stores, Ethan Allen and Gordon's. There's Ulta down there and Carter's. Many stores. Journeys. And I really don't shop at any of them. I really don't shop, period. There's the fish market right there. Rock Bottom, which I was only in there once, and I was like, that's why they call it Rock Bottom. Never going back. You gotta be at Rock Bottom to go there. And I'm slightly above Rock Bottom, so yeah. And then home of Sandcastle. Only been there a few times. Costco. I do shop there. I always feel like whenever I talk about this kind of stuff, I am wasting my running footage, because you're either not paying attention to the run or not paying attention to what I'm saying, or maybe a little bit of both, or maybe completely both. I don't know. So I always try to just brainstorm ideas to talk about, to make things, more interesting and worthwhile, worth listening to. Our time is very limited, so I appreciate every second that you put towards listening and watching my videos, and even just getting to know me in general. See, growing up, I didn't really have a father figure to give me guidance. In fact, my mother figure, she was a toxic mess up until the day that she died. And when you grow up, you are embedded into your surroundings, your habits, your environments, what people tell you. And it's random, because you don't pick and choose your family. You don't pick and choose the location that you're born. You don't pick and choose the people that are around you. So it's just random. I mean, if you make a different choice, let's say if it's the first day of school and there's this kid and he's already starting to act up because of his home life, and you see that where the other kids are laughing, you might think that that's cool, so you want to be like that. But again, it's based on who you are, because if you grew up in an environment where you were taught that people that act like that are just trying to get attention and it's not productive and you shouldn't be like them, or especially the ones that are laughing, then you would have a better sense of morals. Now, I did say first grade, which you're typically around 6, maybe 7 years old. So I know they talk about age and stuff like that, and the age of when you're basically considered morally responsible for your choices. Then if that's true, then kids don't really have a clue. But you could be kind of taught and molded how to be and how not to be based on your upbringing. Now, I didn't really have an upbringing. My upbringing was just making sure I stayed alive. I was spoiled when it came to things. Instead of me being nurtured in an attentive type of way, I was nurtured in, well, what do you want? Video games. Okay. And then I would get those video games or toys or going out to eat or whatever. That's the way I grew up. So stuff like that actually crosses over to your adolescent years and your adulthood. Now, if you don't change your ways by the time you hit a certain age, mentally there's no hope. There's hope. There's always hope, but your chances become slimmer and slimmer every year that goes by. I mean, my mother, for example, she's in her 40s and she grew up like crap her whole entire life. And she had opportunities to make the right decisions, but she chose not to. She chose a different path, and that stuck with her. And she kept on trying and trying to be successful in the path that she chose. And it's called insanity. It's when you do the same thing multiple times and expect a different outcome. Well, yeah, she's insane because it didn't work, and she's still trying it to this day. So luckily, I wasn't raised by her either. I was basically raised by just analyzing. I was raised by spectating what was going on, seeing people's mistakes and failures. Now, growing up, I didn't really fit in with anybody. I didn't fit in with white people, and I didn't fit in with black people. So I got to see both sides. I got to see how people are phony, and people don't know what they want, but they put up this false impression of what they want, And then the reason why I say they don't know what they want is because when they finally get it, well, the ceiling raises. They're not satisfied, they're not content, they're always looking for more, more, and more. And instead of earning it, they are going in the sidelines behind the curtains, manipulating, thinking of plans to manipulate people to succeed in their own way. And that's how their parents were, and that's how their friends were, so that's how they are. Now, it's not everybody, but even the ones that aren't like that, it's affecting them, because the ones that aren't like that are typically more gullible. So then they're the ones being double-crossed. They're the ones that are being manipulated. They're not the manipulator, they're the manipulatee. I know that sounds silly, but it's true in a lot of senses, in a lot of cases. So the main thing that you should focus on is just trying to live righteously, trying to do the right thing. It took me a long time to not be gullible, to not let people run all over me or try to abuse me or use me or whatever. It took a long time, took a lot of sacrifice. Ultimately, it takes your will, it takes a reason, it takes your self-esteem to build to where you feel like you're worth something. You're not worthless. You have to learn to love yourself. That way, if you love yourself, nobody can bring you down because you love yourself. And when I say love yourself, I mean love everything about you. Even if you're not content with how you are now, love the fact that you know what you want and that you are doing the things that it takes to get there. You are going up in your stepping stones. You aren't downgrading, you're upgrading with everything. But don't try to skip steps either. And especially don't try to jump on someone else's step and knock them off. Stay in your own lane, stay in your own path, and keep it up. Just keep doing the right stuff and help people along the way so they can succeed. Help them help you. Help them help you help others. That way it's not all for nothing. That way, so if, like me, if I were to get struck by a car and die, well, hopefully I inspired a few people along my journey. So had I never been born, maybe they never would have seen my perspective and learned from mine, just like the people I learned off of. There are some people that I'm sure I listened to and have died, and in fact there are a lot of people that exposed what's going on in the world. They were silenced, they were killed shortly after their exposure. The second they exposed things, they're on a list. And now that can happen with me. And all I gotta say is if I am taken out for anything that I post or anything, if I somehow just mysteriously die, just know that it's from them. I would never commit suicide. I believe in the Lord, Jesus Christ. I, never say never, but accidents and me aren't, I'm not accident prone or anything. I've been along this long, and yeah, anything can happen. But I'm telling you, if I die in a shorter period of time, in the next year or even 2 years, if I die, I'm 26, if I die before I'm 30, they got me. So hopefully along the way, the things I say, you won't forget, because the things that other people have said that have died, I won't forget. They provided a great service, and I'll see them at the gates one day. As long as I keep on doing the right thing, or I'll go to the other gates, and I don't want to go to those gates. And you know what gates I'm talking about. Just for the fact that you know, it's true. That's how silly it is, and you can't say that I didn't warn you. So getting back to my story, I didn't grow up properly. And the reason why I say proper, yes, because it can be subjective and whatnot, but that's not it. Because it's based on feeling. And I just know I wasn't happy, I wasn't feeling good. Now, the whole mind game is, looking back at it, I was asleep. So that was the whole ignorance is bliss, happiness kind of thing. So I was happy well, the thought of the past was his happiness if I was able to go there and relive it, because that was my origins, that was my roots, that's where I came from, and that's when everything was new. But living through it then, I was not happy. I was not happy in the least bit. I was depressed because I knew that I wasn't meant to be in that family that I was in. I didn't feel loved, I didn't feel happiness. I felt depressed about everything. And it hurts because I know I'm worth more than that. I've done so many good things for people, very selfless actions. But on the same time, I've also done a lot of messed up stuff to people too. A lot of shady stuff growing up. Because I was hurt. And I was hurt to the point where I didn't even consider people to be people, but just objects in my way. For how much I've been hurt by people, I didn't trust anyone. But I changed that. And now I learned to love again. Because, like I said before, you gotta learn to love yourself. And I did just that. And I am continuing to progress. That's how I'm able to do these awesome runs. And that's how I'm able to just look better and build some muscle on top of all this agony I put myself on. Because it's a great stress reliever. Exercising, eating right, it just promotes just betterness. I mean, I'm looking at all these cars driving, all these cars, and I'm sure a majority of them just got off work. It's 5:20, and people got off work, so they're gonna go home and they're gonna go back into their couches, watching their TVs, trying to just grasp to every second. Well, it is Friday, so never mind. That's irrelevant. They're happy to be off work. They're gonna go home, sit on the couch. They're gonna cling onto their TVs, and they're gonna grasp every second all the way until Monday. They have their weekend plans. They get to go out and party tonight, and drink on the weekend, and do drugs, just to forget about the agonizing week that they wasted just trying to serve the man. And then Sunday night will come, and they're like, okay, having a good time, better enjoy this. And then come Monday, they're back into it, back into the system. They're plugging back into the matrix. And I did it for so long, so I know. And I've watched other people just break after so long. People break. Especially the ones that do drugs. Because they're doing drugs and they're not happy. They're miserable, they're depressed, they don't know what else to do. They hate themselves. And it's just humiliating. And I was through that too, because I was the one smoking weed, drinking here and there, sitting around all day, and I felt miserable. Alright, so let's talk about positive stuff. Well, the elections are coming up, and that means Drama gets to be out of office, hopefully, unless he steals the election, the third term, declares martial law, and suspends the Constitution to pause the elections. But I don't see that happening. But I'm just glad he's going to be out of office. I'm sick of hearing about him, even though I'm sure we'll still hear about him because we still hear about Bush and Clinton and whatever. Let's just look at how people are progressing in their own ways. I'm seeing a lot, and it makes me so happy. I'm seeing lots of people run, and I'm seeing lots of people at the gym, and they have great bodies, and they're smiling, and they're happy. It's amazing. I'm seeing it more than ever. People are starting to wake up and realize that they can be the best versions of themselves. People that haven't quit, people that haven't tried it for a few months and then decide to quit. No, they kept going. And it's fantastic. I mean, everyone had their day one, and they're just doing it. They're not letting anything get to them, and it's just an amazing feeling, you know, knowing that they care. So that's always a blessing. There's people I've seen when I first started that's been doing it a lot longer than me, and they're continuing. Now, yeah, there are some people that are not progressing, that are actually, they're still at the gym, they're not building muscle. In fact, other things are happening. They're starting to gain some fat. So when you see people at the gym that are not really getting anywhere, they're not seeming to, they either hit a plateau, do them a kind service and politely just talk to them. Let's see what's going on in their life. Don't just go up to them and say, hey, you're doing something wrong, or you know, you're getting fat, or what the heck, has your diet changed, or you know, because then you're just gonna discourage them. You're gonna make them feel like a piece of crap, and we don't want that, because we want to promote healing. So just get to know them, and then little by little, just maybe work out with them, force them to grow. Let them do a heavier set than what they're doing. I mean, there's times where I'll do the same routine, and honestly, that's most of the time, because my primary focus is getting my legs more in strength, getting my cardiovascular system up, getting better at running. So when I lift, I just say, yeah, I lifted today. But the truth is, I do the same stuff, and that's just not promoting healing. I mean, I tell people to split train, and I'm doing a full body workout, which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's fine for me. It's fine for my goals, but I'm sure I can get more strength in my lacking areas if I were to just change up my routine. But when I train people, I definitely change it up for them, because I know what they want. They tell me, and I know how to fortify the workout for them to get the body that they want, or to get the athletic abilities. So a few things would include, if you're trying to bodybuild, just do 3 to 5 sets of 6 to 8 reps, and then I would suggest do a bonus set of 12 reps of lighter weight, just to shock your muscles, and do about 7 to 10 exercises per day. And by exercise, I mean, if you're bench pressing, that's an exercise. It's a weightlifting exercise. If you're squatting, that's an exercise. So, yeah, see, it is a lot of sets, but you're only going to be picking 2 muscle groups. You're going to do 3 to 5 different exercises per 2 muscle groups. And then you're done for the day. That's a good 2 hours or so, with 30 seconds in between. So, yeah, just do that. And then you will build. You'll build whatever you're trying to build. So maybe on Mondays, pick your triceps and your chests, like upper, mid, and lower chest. On Tuesdays, hit your biceps in a few different angles. Hit your deltoids, your posterior deltoids, your front, rear, whatever. Yeah, just become certified as me. I know every dang term. I'm sure if I sat there and just really analyzed, I can tell you, because I know there's posterior, there's rear delts. Anyway, hit all 3 parts of your on Tuesdays. So do the Arnold press, do front raises, like lateral raises, do side raises. And then when you do your curls, you're gonna flick your pinky away from your body, so your pinky goes parallel with the peak of your bicep. Because if you take your hand and then you flex, like without weight, if you turn your hand, like if you turn your fist all the way to the, let's say the left, I guess it depends. With your left hand, if you turn it all the way to the left, as you keep doing it, you're going to feel the peak of your bicep. Now, if you turn all the way to the right, to where you're turning your hand backwards, and what that's doing is it's not really focusing on your bicep. That's how you do your hammer curls, which, I mean, it hits your bicep, but it doesn't give you the peak you're looking for, and also it's hitting your forearms. Now, if you are in the calisthenics, do 5 sets, 20 push-ups each set, minute rest in between your push-ups, then do your sit-ups. Do 5 sets of 25 sit-ups, no weight. Do 4 sets of 15. You're gonna do shoulder width apart, overhand, and then you're gonna want to do close, and then you want to do underhand. So basically, it's like flipping your hands around. So you could do like 2 or 3 sets, 15 of those. That's going to help you build. Then work on your core. Do some planks. Try to plank for a minute. If you can't plank for a minute, plank for as long as you can. Take 2 minutes rest, and then plank again as long as you can. So you do that 3 times, and then do a side plank. Once you do your side plank, do the other side for as long as you can. Then go back to the other side, and then go back to the other side. And then do another set of push-ups if you want. You will definitely build. So basically, you should incorporate doing weights and calisthenics to just have a better foundation to train various levels. And then do your cardio to help with your calories, to also help your lungs get stronger. Because let's face it, if you have a weak cardiovascular system, you can't lift as effectively. You can't take in as deep of a breath. Because you ever like lift and then you have to like grunt in order to push the dumbbell up or to push the bench up, bench pressing and stuff like that. Imagine if you could take a deeper breath. You could push out. You can inhale and exhale much more. So that would help you with that extra rep or even 2 reps. So it all plays a role. So in the comments below, tell me what your goals are, and I'll make a plan for you. And we can all learn together. Basically, everything I'm saying was not only after the run I am doing, or have done, saying doing because of what you're viewing, but I hung out with Phil, and then I ran a while to get back, and then I stopped because my legs are throbbing. I need some protein, I need to carb load, I need to just rest ultimately. But before you don't want to just rest. You want to hydrate, and you want to fuel, then rest, to promote the healing process, the rest process, so that you can get out again and effectively have a better run because you are recovered. My goal is to continue to grow, get better, to inspire others to want to grow and get better. That's it. That's my second calling. So, God bless you all. Have a blessed, prosperous day. And again, I really appreciate you listening to what I want to say, what I feel like I have to say. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of the things that I say. It's all trial and error. It's all based on my experience. It's what gets me through the day. And for people that I've trained and said this stuff to, it seems to help them. It really seems to help them. So, I'll see you guys, talk to you guys later. it to this bridge. What the heck? No, I'm joking. About to find out though.